Everybody, I'm here today with an easy driving lesson on showing you when to stop for forward parking. If you are going to be forward parking a car, I'm going to show you exactly when you should be stopping. Let's get right into the video. The first thing that you want to do is you might want to estimate, okay? Now, the front of your bumper, when you're forward parking, the front of your front bumper, I should say, should be about roughly 1.5 to 2 feet away from the edge of the parking spot. Whether that's a line on the parking lot, whether that's a curb or anything like that. You should be about 1.5 to 2 feet away from it. So how do you estimate? Well, you practice, okay? I'm going to flip the screen out so I can see what you guys are seeing. You got to estimate, okay? You got to practice. What I recommend is that you go to an empty parking lot, you find a parking spot with a line that's somewhere in the middle of the parking lot, not like against the side of it, in the middle somewhere. And you put the car in park wherever you think you're about 1.5 to 2 feet away from the edge of the spot. When you've done that, get out of the car, look at how close you are. Bring a measuring tape and measure. See if you're where you need to be. If you are too far, then you need to go a couple inches or a couple feet closer. So do that. Go a couple feet closer and sort of memorize what it looks like and get out, okay? If you're too close, then you got to go a couple feet back. So you want to just keep practicing until you know what it looks like when you're parked in the right position for forward parking a car. So estimating is probably the best method, but these other things that I'm going to tell you what to do will help you with your estimation learning skill. Eventually, you can learn how to estimate just by using these other methods, okay? So number 2 is your side mirror reference point. Sorry about that. I think I just bumped the camera into the side of the car. If you look at your side mirror right here, this is sort of the perspective of what I see, okay? You want to stop roughly when you look at your side mirror and when the line on the road or the curb appears directly underneath the side mirror. Now, this is obviously only going to be true if you're seated basically, the right way and if you're about average height. If you're a little bit taller, it's going to look different. If you're a little bit shorter, it's going to look different. But if you're average height roughly and you're seated like a normal driver would be seated, then what you want to look for is that where the curb meets the road, not the top of the curb, but where the curb meets the road right there, where the curb meets the ground, or the line on the ground for the parking spot, when it's directly below your side mirror, that's where you want to be basically, okay? Very simple and straightforward. You can use either mirror, but the driver's side mirror works a little bit better. Depending on the type of car that you're using, I would recommend that you try to learn it with the driver's side mirror. You can use the passenger side mirror as well, but it all depends on the situation. The driver's side mirror will work really consistently with all vehicles. Number 3, obviously, well, with most vehicles, I should say. If you have a massively lifted truck, then it's going to be different, or whatever the case is, or a slammed car, it'll work with most vehicles. Number 3 is line up your car with the car beside you. Now, this is obviously true only if the cars are the same size. So you can see this is a little bit of a bigger car than mine, but they also parked really close to the curb, in my opinion. So I lined up my car mirror, my side mirror with their side mirror, roughly. And I know that they're a little bit bigger, so they're going to be sticking out a little bit further. So if I line up my mirrors, I'm going to be where I want to be, roughly. Now, obviously, it all depends on the vehicle, because if there's a long truck, it's going to be different than a compact car. But if you're driving an average size car and the vehicle beside you is roughly the same size, you can line up your car mirrors and you can be roughly the same distance from the front of the parking spot as them. Okay? And obviously they have to be forward parked and you have to be forward parked as well. It only makes sense that way. You can't have one reverse parked and one forward parked. It won't work like that. And last but not least is number 4, which is use the rear of the spot for guidance. So instead of focusing on the front of the spot, you can actually focus on the rear of the spot. So you can look out your rear window and see where the rear of the spot is. If you can see the line there, I mean, it's hard for you to see because I'm trying to hold the camera properly, but if you in your car can see the line where the rear of the spot is, then you can use that as a guideline because, most parking spots are designed for the average car to have about 2 feet in front of them, 2 feet behind them. So with that being said, roughly 1.5 to 2 feet in front and behind. So with that being said, you can use the rear of the spot as a guideline as well. And that's it. In this video, I've gone over 4 ways to know when to stop when forward parking a car. It's actually really easy, and all of those, the first one is estimate, but the other 3 will allow you to learn to estimate. So you can use the other 3 regularly, and then eventually you'll just know when to stop with your estimation skills. That's it. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more great videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.